WHYK. I have a very quick question for you. W2S. SWR. This is Info HYK calling.
You know, hauling debris, I can't be on the radio.
So you're not going to be the one climbing the pine trees to see how bad the hurricane is off in the distance, is that right?
Anymore, the closer I get to 50, the further those days are away from me.
I got it. I'm 77, and there's a place for everybody here, so we really appreciate it.
And for HYK W2SHR, good morning, Doc. I'm just snickering here because somebody put up on Facebook. It's a picture from a drugstore, and it's for an eye patch.
SARNet. We really appreciate it. That more voices on the air, the more valuable our group is, and so we really appreciate it. And come join us in what we're trying to do, and we'll welcome you. So anyway, I'll let you get back to whatever you're doing today. Thanks for the signal report, and I'll just clear on your final.
Yeah, I've seen those advertisements. Buy one and get one free. Remember, nothing is free. And good morning to you, Robert. Have a safe trip to the VA today. As always, my question to you, I'm up early. I've got to go to the vampire this morning, so that's why I'm up early. My question to you is, do you not work HF when the waterfalls are busy? On 40 meters, the waterfalls are busy, and I think 6 meters is open too. I'm trying to understand 21st century operating.
I think the 21st century or whatever we're in now, I think the answer is in a respectful way is life has changed. Most of us don't have either the time or the freedom to sit here and play HF for hours, and unfortunately, I guess
because, I would say that the time you're on DMR, you could be on HF, and that might pull somebody's strings, so I better not say that. I understand it's not the same. I understand this. I'll just leave it like that. I understand. But I just had to say something. What I hear so much talk about, I don't see anything on the waterfall. Well, the water, if you turn your radio on at the right time, you'll see plenty of stuff on the waterfall. On the various bands at different times of the day. That's how it works. On top of all of that, I really do understand. And I promise. Now you see why I try not to get on this talk group. Are you understanding why? Just one of the reasons why. Stephen, over.
Well, I'm trying to understand, and I have been trying to understand for months. You are as welcome here as anyone else. I understand that your opinions are different, and some people, it might make the hair go up on the back of their neck, but that's your opinion, just like mine is different than yours. I'm looking at my waterfall right now, and yes, it looks like I turned on the movie The Matrix. So there's an interest in HF, and a lot of us have it. We just...
I agree, and I understand. Believe me, when I say I understand, I do understand, without trying to explain it. And we'll talk with you at a later time. Maybe on the net tomorrow night. Maybe. Yeah. W2SHR. To pick it up and keep it. This is InfoHYK. 73, Stephen, and have a good day, sir.
And 79 degrees here. 79 degrees, no rain. Sunshine in the window, and I think it's...
You have a great day, too. Good chatting with you. And I was just thinking when you were saying that, this is one reason it's different, too. I am now out in the yard with my dogs. I can't carry that 7300 around with me, So it's sometimes this is just more convenient for me. So hopefully we'll talk to you tomorrow night on the net.
Okay.
The time is 8 a.m.
WA4EC
Clear. Temperature 77
well, Ron.
degrees.
So good morning, Ron. Good morning, David. Good morning, Ron. And good morning, Dave. Sound coming up over the golf course. It's beautiful.
WA5HC nano node. The time is 7 a.m.
Many years ago in the 1990s.
Hope everybody is doing well this morning.
And not tee up again.
55 degrees here this morning. It was tough getting out of bed. The warm bed, a little overcast, and really a chill in the air.
In the yard, getting fresh out, taking care of the dogs, I understand. This is N4HYK73.
No rain. Possible rain on Friday, so I continue to water the plants. If you don't indulge in that activity, you're guaranteed not to get anything out, so it's worth the effort. What else is going on? I don't know. So it's back to, I'm not sure who. So help me out, Ron. WA4REC KC2FNX.
FNX KA4EET. And Dave, let's see if we have anybody on RF. Since you're the tail gunner right now, but I bet Bill or somebody's in there. Anybody on RF? Maybe Mike?
KQ4, KNP. Good morning, everybody, from AA7MH in Estero. Oh, everything's fine, except sure miss Natasha. She's been gone for about 7 weeks now. She'll be back on the 8th of September. But she has a big family over there. Gets a chance to spend time with them. And not a lot going on here. Just haven't been very active. A little stuff, but not a little FTA, but not much else. Let's see. It goes to Mike. I don't know your call. Go ahead. AA7MH.
Oh, Roger, Roger. Good morning to the Motley crew. Happy Thursday. Spending the beautiful day as always. I might head over to the range, see what's happening out there before it gets too hot. Running some errands this morning for the missus starts getting mad at me. So anyway, we'll pass it over to Bill. This is KF6FJ.
And with that, I'll send it back to EET. This is KQ4KNP.
Good morning, Navarre. This is KQ4SND mobile monitoring.
Okay. Well, we have a nice group in here, and Shep, good to hear you. And you know, Julie and I had a trip all planned in a couple of days in St. Petersburg, and that is, and you know, we're going back a couple of years now. That is when Russia decided to go into Ukraine, and the trip that we made was canceled. I guess rightly so, but it was a two-week Baltic cruise. Actually, it was 15 days, and then we had a stopover in St. Petersburg, Russia. It was really a great trip. But they called me and said that the cruise the itinerary was all changed, so I just went ahead and canceled the whole darn thing and rescheduled it for next year. But of course, the St. Petersburg stop is not in. Down, and you know, they make you tap on something like a piece of rubber or whatever. But it does feel a lot better this morning, that's for sure. But anyway, she was telling me I wasn't brushing my teeth right, and I have an electric toothbrush that they recommended. But she said that there's too much tartar on my teeth. I said, okay. I said, I'm 75 years old. We get that build up.
Of the net. So I guess I'll see you guys on Saturday, but I'm still here for the next couple of go-rounds. And with that, I will turn it over to WA4REC in Geezerville East. This is WE4THO.
With things going on, I hope not. I don't see why there should be, but you never know, right? But we'll keep our fingers crossed on that one. Anyway, good morning to Mike, morning to Bill, and St. Petersburg. Yeah, we talked about taking that cruise once upon a time, but we never made it. Scandinavian cruise, and one of the stops would have been St. Petersburg, but oh well. It is a pretty historic city, that's for sure. And of course, like David said, hey, go right up to St. Petersburg, Florida, and there you are. Not the same. But anyway, gonna be a beautiful day here, and let's see. I'm gonna turn it on over to Joe, KQ4MNI, WA4REC.
It's a beautiful morning here. Everybody's up. I'm greeted by my grandson's face in the window, looking at me. I'm gonna go see if he wants to come outside with me.
Probably my connection on my end just took a long time. This time of the year, I think of hot apple pie. Don't know what caused that, so I guess we'll have to buy them. And some of the apples that I recently purchased at a grocery store, they must have been treated somehow because they don't deteriorate. And I'm not sure what that's all about, but certainly won't buy those again.
got timed out there, Shep. We missed the last few minutes. Go ahead.
This is the K4ECR repeater.
Hey, Shep. I don't know whether you timed it out or something. What happened there? But we got that. And Julie and I certainly would like to go there sometime. I don't know if we can anymore. Go ahead, Mike. And good luck at the range, Mike. Seems like you went yesterday. What, are you going every day now? Go ahead, Mike. Pick it up.
At least 3 times a week. Yeah, I really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. It reminds me a lot about billiards. It's really just calming your nerves and then pulling out the shot. It's really nice. See what else is going on here. On my way to the dog park again this morning, get his energy out. He doesn't tear up the house. And that's about it. So I'll pass it over to Bill. This is KF6FJD.
Other than that, not much here for this go-round. I'm going to send it over to Jack, KA9TQC. This is KQ4, KNP. All yours, Jack.
I didn't quite get the question. Ask it again, please. Or Ron, would you relay? Believe it or not, better than 70% of the Russian people
KF5WSD.
Okay, good morning, guys. K9TQC listening. And first of all, Dave, very interesting here with the apples. We have apple trees in the yard here that are full of apples, and an apple tree up north at the lake that has 0 apples. And several days ago, our friends have a whole bunch of apple trees in their yard, and they have a sign on one of them saying, "Pick me." So we went over with a laundry basket and filled it up with apples, and Carol's been busy making applesauce and apple crisp, and it just smells amazing. But man, you can collect them a lot faster than you can process them, and they all have superficial insect type damage, but nothing very deep. So as you know, there's very little loss. I mean, some of them look a little funky, but it's all on the surface. And Bill, in answer to your question, I think the basic problem problem is that the Russian people are being told that the people of Ukraine long to be part of Russia again. Like Putin's long game is to try to rebuild the Soviet Union and reconnect all the previous states that have splintered off into their own independent countries. So what the Russians are being told is that the people of Ukraine want to be part of Russia. And so in that vein, I think
Okay, Jack, I'll make sure to look it up. Jeez. I kind of slept in today. It was something extremely rare for me. I got up to go to the bathroom about 3:30 in the morning, and I usually don't fall asleep for quite a while. But anyway, I did. Thanks for coming in here, Shep, and saying hello. Julie, my wife, his mother is from Ukraine, and but they do not keep, or Julie does not keep. Of course, her mother passed away, but they do not keep in touch with any of the any other relatives that are there now. So she doesn't even know. She'll have to go there to look it up and all that. But in the time that her mother.
Lots of interesting stuff this morning, Motley Crew. To answer the question, I think it was IEX, will be in Cherokee. This isn't a mountain hike. It's more of a waterfall and flatland area. And I don't know if it's on this coming one, tomorrow hike, but there's a huge stand of bamboo that's like 60 or higher feet tall. That a lot of the activity is monitored because that's one thing he would never, ever speak about in any way was anything political. I found that to be true of a lot of so-called, Iron Curtain-like countries that I spoke to. That's verboten. And the only thing I ever really got much feedback from around the world was during the pandemic. And all that stuff, and that's a whole nother story, which better be weather-wise than otherwise. I'll listen out for a few minutes, and then I've got the morning walk, and then I'm going to chase the golf ball. So I will check you out on Saturday, and I hope everyone has a great time. And let's see. So WA4REC, WE4THR, 73.
But they do have some great hiking places, waterfalls, and of course we always used to go up there in the fall to see the fall leaves. We always make that trip up there for 4 or 5 days, and beautiful. Have a good time. Be careful. I always remember way back when I made a lot of Russian contacts on the air, and they were always very careful what they said. It was pretty obvious, you know, they were being monitored, sure. But hey, if that's the only things you hear, what else you going to do, you know? And Voice of America has been curtailed. I just wonder how many people in Russia used to listen to the Voice of America. And there's other countries that have that sort of thing going too. But you know, sometimes those countries, that's the only source of real, true information they can get. But who knows? Ukraine, the whole Ukraine thing is a tragic thing. I feel really sorry for the people there, but what are you going to do? And Dave, you were talking about preserved apples, apple slices and things. You buy packages of apple slices, and I think one of the things they use is absorbic acid. I think, like vitamin C type of thing that's just treated with, and it doesn't allow it to age, if that's a word. But that's one of the things.
Anyway, I think I may make this my 73 round. Get my day going and prepare. I think I'm going to come home tomorrow, so I'll probably leave early in the morning tomorrow. So if I do, I'll be on the radio. So everybody take care. Have a great day. I'll be listening, and hope to talk to everybody tomorrow. And with that, over to you, Dave. KC2FNX, KQ4MNI.
KQ4MNI, KC2FNX. Thank you, Joe, and 7-3. Have a good day and a safe trip if you're going to travel tomorrow. And that's interesting, Jack. I'll be right over and get a sack full as well, if they're available, the apples, that is. And we have a real good recipe. It's called apple squares, and it came from the American Bee Journal. And if you'd like to have a copy of that, I can send it. It's always been a favorite of our kids, and I especially like it as well. But it's really moist and tasty. Anyhow, very disappointing. Picked a few more tomatoes yesterday, and one of the varieties I'm growing is Cherokee Purple.
up, you're always welcome, of course. Don't be a stranger. We like to hear your perspective and things. Go ahead, Mike. Are you still in there?
November 4, Echo Juliet Charlie.
Alrighty then. Yep, very good. Apples, boy, that was one thing we had back in Ohio. We had 3 apple orchards around where we lived, and the farthest one was only 4 miles away. So it was apples everywhere. I mean, you could find them in the store, and then you could go out to their on the road storefronts, and yeah, we always had fresh apples.
Alrighty, well, thanks again, Bill. K9TQC. Well, you know, it's interesting. Apples are a big deal out here also. And one of my friends is very much into it. He goes around the countryside, and if he sees a variety of apple that is new to him, he will cut off a little twig of the tree and then graft it onto his tree at home, because apple trees are very amenable to grafting. So you can have a single tree with all kinds of different varieties of apple. And he's got an orchard. I think he has probably 40 different kinds of apples, safe to say. And he makes cider, and then it becomes hard cider, which was the primary sort of recreational beverage in the colonial era here, because the fermentation was effectively a preservative. So it allowed hardened apple cider was a drink that would last without refrigeration, and therefore it was amenable to the 1700s and 1600s. And that used to be apparently the predominant drink of most people. So anyway, hard cider's good, sweet cider's good, but you'll get almost burned out on it by about October, November. It's just been apple everything. But at first, which is now, I mean, this is our first cooking of applesauce. It just fills the house with underwater was kind of sticky. So I Googled it, and apparently biofilm is an issue, so we got to do a little bit of hot tub maintenance here today later on. So back up to the top, K4EET, K9TQC.
Okay, Jack, very good. KA4EET. Bill, by the way, if you're still listening, I think you're listening there. You're coming in very nicely here on RF. Just slightly crackling in the background, and I suspect I sound about like that. I'm sure there's a noise in the background, but so far I guess everybody hears me over it. And Jack, I wonder if you've had MRIs. I'm sure you have on your back. The MRI that they I pay for it for about 3 or 4 or 5 days. And I went through about 2 rounds of physical therapy, and it does help. I do have to admit that. But against doctor's advice, Jack, I never did get it. My disc corrected, or whatever they do when they do that surgery. I think it was about the time I was going to do it. Ron, you had yours, REC. And exactly correct, Ron, remember? One guy was real friendly, and I tried to get him to talk about his job, and he kept on saying, he just kept on working for the state, kept on saying the state, so I couldn't. He told me what he did, but he could not divulge into anything else, and he was a real interesting guy. Anyway, when the Iron Curtain basically came down or fell in the late 80s there, I guess it was, early 90s, we thought everything would kind of open up more to a democratic process over there. But
here in Florida, we have a saying, if you don't like the weather, just wait 20 minutes. But what if you don't like your internet? Switch to Quantum Fiber Internet, an ultra-fast connection that's designed for the things you love to do online, like the sun.
Drop a minute. The smell of apple, anything cooking with apples brings me back to my childhood, and oh my God, love it, love it, love it. Like you said, you could have it for breakfast. I could have it any time during the day, no doubt about it. And Dave, Jersey tomatoes are second to none. When it comes to New Jersey tomatoes, we grew up with them all. Anyway, go ahead, Ron. I think David's out of here, THR. I think he went to play golf. WA4REC, KA4EET. Go ahead, Ron.
KA4EET, WA4REC. Okay, Ron, thank you. And 7-3 to you, Shep, if you're still listening. Bill and Linda, have a great day. And let's see, apples. Yeah, well, growing up in Wisconsin, we had apple trees in our backyard. And, of course, my mother used to make apple pie, of course. But
this is WA4AFM monitoring.
on the extreme eastern side of Russia, across from Alaska. But I always remember this guy. He had absolutely no accent. And he sounded like you're talking to somebody from maybe like California, or in that part of the country. So I had my doubts about being born in Russia. I think he was maybe. I always surmised he was a turncoat. Okay, let's see. I think Dave, KC2FNX. WA4REC.
WA4REC, KC2FNX. Thank you, Ron. And interesting, your friend Jack grafting. I've tried it several times, and have not been successful. I wish I had and I used to get apples for free from a coworker, and I would get a whole pickup truck full of apples, 8-foot bed full. Wash the apples, and I have a apple cider press. Filled up our freezer and shared with a lot of other people. I used to save the and of course, after the cider, we had hard cider, and then you put it through, I think I mentioned this before, you put it through one of those condensing glass tubes and bring the temperature up to about 170, and out the other end we'd get schnapps. Oh boy, oh boy.
Okay, 7-3's Dave. Barb, have a great day. Talk to you later. Jack, you're up to bat if you care to say any more.
I didn't realize Bill had checked out, so I was just waiting for him. K9TQC returning. Well, interestingly, at least to me, my first foray into the world of radio was shortwave listening. And when I was in 6th grade, the voice, Radio Moscow it had an incredibly loud signal, good, strong signal, and my little Heathkit radio picked it up very well, and I would listen to it as a kid. Incredulous that anybody could really believe what they were hearing, because it was kind of like during World War II. I think there was one in Germany too, but the one in Japan was named Tokyo Rose, and she was the voice of a Japanese propaganda mechanism that was directed to the U.S. service people in the Pacific, and it was mostly taunting and trying to make them homesick and just. Hearing overt propaganda, and I would give reports in 6th grade as to what I was hearing on Radio Moscow, and this, of course, was the height of the Cold War, and it was just fascinating. I mean, it was clearly nonsense, but still, it was interesting to hear what's going on. And the other thing I was going to mention is that when I first got my ham license, I was talking to a guy in Haiti in the 1980s who whispered when the secret police wandered by his house because he didn't want them to know he was on.
Yeah, okay, very good, Jack. KA4EET. Getting into a little bit of a history, I started reading a thick book here. It's called The Devil Will Reach Toward the Sky by Garrett Graff. And they're talking about how Nazi Germany came about and how we ended up getting top-notch scientists and researchers to work on the atomic bomb. Well, Waffle House, I started to read this. The text you sent about the Waffle House is really funny. The guy was describing the food and everything, and that's where I stopped because I wanted to get in here and finish up the net. And I'll have to finish reading that. It's a little bit long, but very interesting. Very interesting. But anyway, Julie ordered a Waffle House T-shirt. Of course, the Waffle House stopped, I believe, the Waffle House has stopped somewhere around, I'm going to say maybe Maryland, I think was right outside of Washington, D.C. was the last one going north, I believe. But we always made our way to stop at them in our travels. And we sort of gravitated to that type of restaurant, on the road all the time. But anyway,
in Europe or in Africa, we would, at night, in the middle of the night, it'd be hard to find stations. We'd look for Armed Forces network or something, but Radio Moscow was usually always there. And the gal on Radio Moscow that I remember, we called her Moscow Molly. And I always remember, she played, it was propaganda, it played American music and, that sort of thing. But I always remember one time in the 50s now, SAC, Strategic Air Command, flew B-47s at that time. And they were on a secret mission, and they landed in Greenland as a stopover, and on their way to wherever they were going, I always remember Moscow Molly, but you know what? I tell you what, she played American music, and that's what we were interested in the middle of the night, especially when we were working grave shift. KA9TQC, WA4REC.
KW0Z, EW0Z, EE3RD.
KA4ETKQ4MNI, just listening on.
Okay, that sounds good. Well, Ren, that's how propaganda works. They give you something that you want to hear, and then they surround it with stuff they want you to hear. And that's without the music, no one would listen. looking forward to getting back down there. KA9TQC 73.
SARNet.